What's up, guys? This is Nick Oz. Sorry, but Brian's not here, or nor is Will, our special guest who was on our previous webisode. And here is our first official The Surge webisode Flick Pick Friday, where we talk about movies, where we talk about movie reviews, where we talk about movies we've seen, upcoming movies, and all that whole shebang. Anything in the realm of media that involves film and stuff like that. And so, on to our subject. We're going to talk about two movies. We're going to talk about Oz the Great and Powerful, and we're going to talk about Olympus Has Fallen. And because those are the most recent movies I've actually seen coming from the last month. So here's our first review for Oz the Great and Powerful. So I saw Oz the Great and Powerful the first opening weekend, which was towards the first weekend of March. And I saw it with my girlfriend, and we both thought it was amazing. And pretty much the story tells of it's a prequel to The Wizard of Oz, and in that telling, it tells the story of how Oz, the magician, ends up into the land of Oz, and how he becomes the wizard. And the wizard, aka Oz, is played by none other than James Franco, and he. Sorry, I'm a little uppity about this part. Yeah, and he. I thought he did a fantastic job playing Oz, and he was amazing. I couldn't picture anyone else because there were talks early in the production for this project where it was either going to be Robert Downey Jr. or Johnny Depp, and quite frankly, I think either of those two would have been completely predictable at that point if they were to choose either of those two to play Oz, James Franco's role. And since I'm speaking of James Franco, I thought he was perfect. I thought he went completely outside of the box with his performance in this one. He wasn't the guy that he was in Rise of the Planet of the Apes. He wasn't the stonehead from Pineapple Express, and he was just completely. He was a completely different character, and I thought he was fantastic for this role, and he went completely outside of the box. He's a talented actor, and as long as going on to the other talent into the movie, I thought Mila Kunis as the Theodora the Good, or one of the other witches, was completely. I thought she was awesome. I thought she was fantastic for that role. Be it a surprising role, I'm not going to spoil anything of who she plays or how important her character is. I thought she filled the role of her character in the character of the witch, and very, very fantastic. I thought she was terrific for that role. And going on to the rest of the characters, Rachel Weisz as one of the other witches. She was perfect. She was fantastic. I thought she was going to be one of a different witch. Like I said, I'm not going to spoil anything in this review, but she still did a fantastic job. She showed her witch side, and she showed her talent in this role, and I thought she was perfect. I thought she was awesome as her role. And going on to the other talent, I thought Michelle Williams as Glinda the Good was perfect. I couldn't picture anyone else to play a younger version or an earlier version of Glinda the Good. Later, like in anyone else, they could have picked Olivia Wilde, and I still would have said, I think they would have picked a better choice. I mean, I mean, as much as I love Olivia Wilde, but still, I couldn't picture anyone else at this point. I couldn't picture no one other than Michelle Williams playing Glinda the Good in this review. I mean, in this movie. Sorry, this is a review. So going onward, the production in this was like, I'm not gonna lie. The first time I saw the preview, I thought this movie was gonna be a complete CGI fest. It was gonna be like Alice in Wonderland light, and I was gonna be like, yeah, they're using CGI not for the benefit. They're using CGI to show the perfect CGI-ness and all that kind of stuff, and it was just going to be a complete CGI fest, and I was going to get tired of it, and I was going to get bored of it. It would have felt like Attack of the Clones at that point. But it was not that. It was actually, they used the CGI to its benefit, and I thought, well, you got to represent Oz in a certain colorful effect, because like things are different and things are changing, and they use CGI to the benefit, because I couldn't picture how they would have did the character of the China doll in that in the movie, and the talking monkey with a person in a suit, or someone who's glossed in the effect of looking like a China doll, because I was like, nah, you needed CGI for that kind of stuff. And going on to those two characters, the monkey and the China doll, I was like, those are some very memorable characters. They stick to their guns, and they stick to the performance, and they stick to like their agenda and what they represent and stuff. But the one that stood out for me the most was the China doll character. Oh my god, my heart almost broke the first time I saw her introduced into the movie, and I was like, oh my god, this how could this be, and stuff like that. I mean, and it was phenomenal. I mean, I thought that role really stood out as like for the China doll for what she represented, and I was like, man, like, seriously, my heart nearly broke the first time I saw her uh, first introduced into the movie. But she was perfect. I mean, I thought that role was very memorable. But going onward, the story was phenomenal, and the CGI that was used was beneficial. The characters were very memorable. It was a very fantastic story. So I'm gonna give this movie a B plus, because there were some flaws in the movie with the pacing and the and some of the characters felt a little underdeveloped, but not developed enough. Well, how can I explain it? I mean, it was developed enough for the movie, since it's a kids movie and it's a family movie and stuff. They were developed enough to introduce the story. But I'm gonna give, like I said, I'm gonna give this movie a B plus, because of the fact that some of the characters felt a little underdeveloped, and the pacing was a little too much like a roller coaster ride. But I'm totally gonna get this movie on Blu-ray or DVD whenever it's gonna come out. But the movie was perfect, and so I'm totally gonna give this. I'm getting this movie when it comes out. It's totally memorable. I would highly recommend you guys to see this movie if you haven't seen it. And yeah, that concludes my review for Oz the Great and Powerful. Now on to a complete game changer to the genres, to the action movies. I saw Olympus Has Fallen the week after. I saw an advanced screening of Olympus Has Fallen about the week after I saw Oz the Great and Powerful, and I saw it with my brother, and I saw it with his girlfriend, and I saw it with my girlfriend, and we both walked out of there having a good time. And I gotta say, this movie, holy shnikes, this movie was completely filled with like old 90s action, and it was awesome. And it stars Gerard Butler, Morgan Freeman, Aaron Eckhart, Melissa Leo, the dude from Heroes, and I could go on and on about it. But the one that was memorable to me was Gerard Butler's character, because seriously, this movie was the Die Hard movie, or the Die Hard sequel that we deserved. And why did we not get this movie as a Die Hard movie? Seriously, if you were to extract Gerard Butler and replace him with Bruce Willis, this movie would have been a Die Hard movie. It would have been a perfect Die Hard installment after Die Hard 4. It wouldn't be the Die Hard 5 that we got. Or A Good Day to Die Hard. I'm going to call it A Bad Day to Die Hard, even though it's a bad joke, but it was a bad movie. What can I say? So going on, where Gerard Butler, I'm serious, his character was like if John McClane from Die Hard and Liam Neeson from Taken had a kid together. Gerard Butler right there. He kicks so much butt in this film, and this movie is completely awesome. So going on to the plot takes place like Gerard Butler's character had a past with Aaron Eckhart. Aaron Eckhart plays the president of the United States, and apparently something bad happened to them. He got demoted. He has an office job, and then the Korean embassy or whatever comes to visit the White House to make negotiations until it's a trap, and then the Koreans apparently take over the White House, and now we have Olympus Has Fallen. And like I said, this movie had me on the edge of my seat a couple of times, be it a little predictable in some scenes, because I was like, yep, he's gonna kick that guy's butt, and he's gonna get some answers. It's gonna be like he's gung-hoing the entire movie, going through thick and thin, completing all these missions and stuff like that. It has to show his redemption of the mistake he made with Aaron Eckhart's character. But it was still an amazing movie for what it was, because it was an action movie. It was directed by Antoine Fuqua, the guy that gave us Training Day, a good movie, and this movie, be it having some flaws and some stuff, because it had some cheesy lines, that I was like, that could have been brushed up a little better, but it stuck to its guns for what it was, and it was a complete fun ride. I stuck with Gerard Butler's character throughout the entire movie, and the action was nonstop and completely awesome. I felt like it was what it needed to be, an R-rated action movie to go back to the old 90s days of action movies, or 80s if you're that old school, depending on who you are. So in the end, I'm going to give this movie a B. I'm going to give it a B, just a B, because like I said, there were some cheesy lines and some stuff in there that could have been changed up or polished a bit. And yeah, the characters were memorable. Morgan Freeman was awesome. Aaron Eckhart was awesome. And like I said, the one that stood out the most for me was Gerard Butler. Like I said, his character kicked so much butt in this film, and it was crazy. And I walked out of there with a big smile on my face with the butt that he kicked in this movie. So that concludes my review for Olympus Has Fallen. I would highly recommend you guys to go see this movie if you're 18 or older, or 17 or older, because yeah, it's an R-rated movie and the legal age is 17. So yeah, or if you're one of those rule breakers and you want to sneak in, I would not recommend this, but go ahead, whatever floats your boat. If you're really interested in seeing this movie, it's an awesome movie. You'll have a fun time walking out with a big smile on your face. So there you go. That concludes my review for Olympus Has Fallen. So now I'm going to talk about some news of other movie stuff that we're getting later in this year, or early on. I just recently saw a trailer to The Wolverine, and I gotta say, this movie looks really awesome. It looks like a forgiving template for what we were given for the Wolverine movie that we got in 2009, which I'm not going to mention because I hate that movie to death. So yeah, pretty much what we've seen from the trailer is the fact that it's years after X-Men: The Last Stand, another movie that I wasn't too much of a fan of because they kill too many major characters, and it really pissed me off. But going onward, the movie takes place a few years after the events that happened in X-Men: The Last Stand, and Wolverine's going all Lone Ranger and stuff like that. He's all alone, and he's been out in exile for a while. He has a beard, he has long hair, until he meets with a Japanese associate, and then meets with a Japanese friend of his, or like someone he saved a long time ago, and he's like, you know what? Living forever could be a curse. Living forever could, like, it's not worth it, or something like that. I can make you mortal. And he makes a deal with him, and then later on in the preview, you see like that's probably what's going to happen, or probably it's inevitable. They're going to make him mortal in some way, shape, or form, whether it be an experiment or a drug or whatever. Like, they haven't revealed anything as to how he becomes mortal again, but I'm really hoping that like it puts the challenge to him, and it's awesome. And what I'm hoping for this movie is that it shows the challenges that Wolverine's going to go through, but also have somewhat of a redemptive quality, if that's even a word, or a redemption kind of quality as to how he could get his healing back or not. I just hope he doesn't stay, mortal forever, because he's going to see the point or the purpose of being immortal, hopefully later in the movie, because like I said, I hope he doesn't stay that way. But it's really interesting to see that concept, because Wolverine is a badass, and he's like completely, holy smokes, like the guy can slice your head off, and he could crush your head with his fists, and yeah, he's that badass. And I'm seriously, like, the guy's like an unstoppable force. He's like if Chuck Norris, like, he's kind of like Chuck Norris. He's like the Chuck Norris of comic characters, and it's really awesome. So I'm really looking forward to this movie. I like the challenges that they're putting Wolverine through in this movie. I hope that he gets his healing powers back. The movie comes out in July. If you guys haven't seen the preview yet, I would highly recommend you guys to watch the preview, and it looks pretty awesome. I hope you guys are interested. So that concludes the updates that I have, or the upcoming events for like the realm of media and the realm of film quality kind of stuff, or film quality, or the news and movie stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much how I can explain it. That concludes that and my reviews. So up and coming, I got a review for Jurassic Park 3D coming up. I got a review for Evil Dead coming up, and I got a review for Oblivion coming up for the next Flick Pick Fridays. and hopefully there'll be more trailers for other upcoming movies or other movies that I'll be interested in to talk about on Flick Pick Fridays. And I want to take a moment to apologize that I haven't gotten the chance to see G.I. Joe Retaliation or The Host. I'm probably not going to review those movies until they come out like on DVD, and I'll talk about like DVD movies or something like that that caught my eye and that really got me interested, and or not interested, just in the moment of seeing the movie, so that way I could speak my thoughts. But we'll see what happens when it comes to it. But I got a lot more coming for the new webisodes. Webisode 4 is supposed to come up this weekend, where we talk about more music. I think we're going to talk about Killswitch Engage's new album, The Color Morale's new album, Transit's new album, Paramore's new album, and the whole shebang about like new music from like Taking Back Sunday, Newfound Glory, blah 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 blah. And we got a few more coming up for Webisode 4. I'm not going to reveal too much, but that's pretty much a gist of what you're going to come in for Webisode 4. We're trying to get a Saturday Gaming Extravaganza webisode out probably next weekend, and that's when we're going to talk about, because there's some new stuff that happened with the new Assassin's Creed game, the new Metal Gear Solid game, and the Battlefield 4 game. And if there's any more that you want us to talk about on either of those webisodes, just feel free to email us at nickozthesurge@gmail.com, or leave us a comment below, or leave us a comment or a status thing on or a post on our Facebook page, or just tweet us at nickozthesurge, and we'll see if you guys want us to talk about certain things that we haven't mentioned. So that concludes Flick Pick Friday for The Surge Webisode 3. And stay tuned for Webisode 4 this weekend, and I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you. This is The Surge.